I will be your moderator and guide you through the program. My name is Christian Jochum. I'm from Austria. I'm a senior expert and working for UCAP. That's the University College for Agrarian and Ecological Education. To start I give you a short introduction into the topic. I have prepared a few slides to give you a better impression of what you can expect from today's Advisinar. Just a moment, presentation mode. Yes. First of all, we are working together. We from COREnet, it's a EU Horizon project, are working together with you for advice. And we are on the way to install one European advisory network on short food supply chains. We have established actually in each member state a key national contact point where you can find competent contacts. These contact points are associated with the so-called Agricultural Knowledge and Information System, AKIS. We have installed a repository of practical examples, including golden cases and lighthouse projects. Additionally, a list of advisors and in short food supply chains and advisory organizations. What we are now working on is the so-called Local Food Advisors Journey 2026, where we are offering to you Advisinars and Advisi News. We are actually discussing to establish an excursion service to publish members' news and to offer recorded field trips. And the overall intention is to connect you as advisors among each other. A separate topic is the harmonization of training and education of SFSC advisors on the European level. All that, having said this, is a work in progress. For today, I want to mention the Advisors Corner. You will find, you see here the link. At the end of the Advisinar, you will also get a reminder where you can find the link to the Advisors Corner and where you can find all the material. Regarding the Advisinars are specific webinars for SFSC advisors. They are prepared and organized together with you for advice by the COREnet partners. They aim to be as practice-oriented as possible. We want to showcase and highlight concrete examples, no theory, concrete examples. And there should be, hopefully also today, enough time for questions and answers and discussion together with you. We are focusing on one topic and going into details, not too general, not too broad. And of course, we have to picture the heterogeneity of the EU. We will, based on the presentations you will see today, provide contacts for further bilateral exchange. And the Advisinars take place on the Advisors Monday. The Advisors Monday is every third Monday of the month. Today's Advisinar on slaughtering, a short look back. We had in February already a specific case on mobile poultry slaughtering with the idea how to save costs by using facilities by many users. We also tackled other topics like food hubs, food legislation, or digital tools. And we are open to new ideas and content. Just to forecast the July Advisinar, it's titled It's Your Turn to Lead. So save the date. You will again be reminded at the end of this webinar. It's on the 20th of July at 10 o'clock, the normal beginning time. Beforehand, we would be glad and grateful if you could fill in this survey. You see here the link. Again, the link will be shown in the chat. It's a questionnaire taking just 3 to 5 minutes for us as a measure to be better prepared or best prepared for this July Advisinar. Today's Advisinar, and that's my final remark, is focusing on slaughtering in general. The challenges in slaughtering is the economic viability to save costs, to have unit costs which are competitive, to fulfill the obligations of legislation, additional aspects like animal welfare, meat quality, sustainability, rural development, and how this can be organized in practice. Therefore, we have selected 4 interesting examples which will be presented today. The first is a Romanian example presented by an expert who combines as a connector both the administrative side of legislation applicable for slaughtering, and also the practical side, understanding the situation in rural areas with small entities. It will be followed by a presentation from a Romanian cooperative where many farms have joined together to run jointly a slaughtering facility. Then you will be presented a specific solution for an animal-friendly way to slaughter, especially cattle in the field, by Theresa Kienzer from Austria, with a specific administrative and legislative component. And it will be finished by a French case where a farmer invested in a slaughtering facility, and this slaughtering facility is rented to other farmers in the region to save costs and to have more efficiency and economic viability. So let's get started. May I introduce as first presenter Maximilian Dragan. As I had already said, he is a special expert because he combines both this administrative and legislative component of slaughtering, which is quite tricky. And on the other hand, he understands the practical situation of how small farms work and what's possible and what's not possible. Maximilian, we are nosy what you will present to us. Please start your presentation. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Hello to everybody. I'm very happy to talk about this topic, and thank you for the invitation and the opportunity to discuss about local products and these adaptability rules, which I must tell you, Christian, first of all, I learned it from a guy from Austria, Christian, many years ago, when we as a young member state didn't understand very well these flexibility rules and how can we work with this. Okay, things are now changing in Romanian small business operator regarding slaughtering and regarding processing meat, milk. We try to adapt and to use these flexibility rules as much as we can in order to give the opportunity of this small business operator to come on the market. I will focus today on my presentation on slaughterhouses and let's say cutting plants as well, not so much, and processing meat a little bit on the end of the presentation. I will not concentrate too much on the legislation part. I don't want to bother you with articles and regulations, but as a general approach, and I'm very open after all, if you have questions regarding these requirements, we can develop more. So in Romania, at least in this area where I am working with, we have this okay, normal slaughterhouses, normal big food industry with facilities, industrial facilities, and also there are small-scale slaughterhouses. This is the three type of slaughterhouses which I put in on my presentation. These small-scale slaughterhouses, farm-attached slaughter points, and semi-mobile and cooperative models, which I will not talk about today. But I will talk more about these smart farm-attached slaughterhouse points because they can be used by the, let's say, medium and small farmers with sheep or with bovine, also with pigs. And why they
Could
are
you
not
show, excuse me, could you show the next slide? Because we are still, the first slide.
Something is wrong. It means that I have.
Yeah, now. Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
So these are the topics. Okay. What understand?
Mă dragă, mi fata asta mai mult.
Okay. So why they using these alternative solutions? First of all, because of costs for transport of the animals. I'll tell you about the experience in Romania. Most of these, let's say, big slaughterhouses are far from farms, and these costs are important, and nowadays are even more important because the gasoline and diesel cost is huge. Also, there are concerns regarding the animal welfare and the transport of these animals. During the transport, they have a lot of stress and they losing weight and so on. And also that gives us this opportunity to use the fresh product on the premises if they are cutting and if they process the meat, making very tasty and good local products. Okay.
Next slide. We are still the same slide.
I see. I think I have a delay. I don't know why.
We still see the slide with the chicken. Why do we need alternative solutions? So, okay, so
I will fix it right away. I will move from this screen to another one.
shall I open the presentation? I have it on my computer.
Can you please?
Yeah, I will do it.
It will be better. Thanks. Good so.
Just 1 second.
I will continue to talk.
Yeah, okay. Please continue speaking.
So this short supply chains will help, of course, the small business operator in rural area, because they will have fewer intermediaries, they will increase the income, better traceability for consumer confidence, small or less environmental impact.
Excuse me, could you stop screen sharing? Sharing your screen so that I can.
I do. Stop share. Good.
Okay. So can you see the presentation from my computer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Perfect.
So
And for these farm attached slaughter points, the areas which we can split inside this facility is first reception, rest area for the animal, the part of slaughtering when I will show you also the flow after, and this facilities is designed for a small number of animal which you can slaughter during a day, and it's limited by the law. So these are available solutions. Industrial model, local with small-scale slaughterhouses, or on-farm model, authorized farms with slaughter points attached to the farm. Good. From the legal point of view, this is the framework. General, this European regulations for hygiene, food safety, and we have also some internal legislation, national legislation regarding the rules which focus on operating conditions, prevention and control of transmissible disease, animal welfare, animal identification traceability, general hygiene requirements, acceptable level of let's say hygiene and the limited slaughter capacity. I told you the less number of animal, and that should be very clear from the beginning. And for example, for farm attached slaughter point, we have this as 10 cattle per month or 5 pigs. It's some calculation made by using the SO and other kind of indicators. All right, food safety starts before slaughter, and this is the role of veterinarians. I go each Thursday in this small slaughter point, and they cut one beef, 4 sheep, for example, and they have their own farm. Animals are resting, and the process. Because of this, you can use part of the facility to split on the operation in time. So if you slaughter, you can make also the cutting of the animals after the slaughter in the same area, but in different times. When you slaughter, and then you finish the slaughter part and you start the cutting part. And for the meat processing, you need to have another facility. From the veterinarian point of view, we have to do these controls. First of all, ante-mortem, so before slaughtering, we're checking the animal clinical situation. And post-mortem, when we look on part of the organs, muscles, when you talk about pig, it should be make exam for Trichinella spiralis. And this official control, it ends with some papers and with this health certificate for meat, which gives the possibility of the farmer, now the food operator, to use the meat during the process they want to, the processing part of the activity. Okay.
So next, I show the next slide with this technical explanation of this semi-line slaughtering of bovines.
Yes.
Looking on my watch, I'm not sure whether we have the time to go all through these details.
No, I will just, this is the normal line, but when you make shorter, you can split these phases of slaughtering and cutting and to use the same facility after all. This is this means that you don't need to have a huge capacity, big buildings, big rooms, for this. You can use normal, I don't know, containers or other spaces, but of which, of course, should have these hygiene rules. You need to have walls, floor, ceilings, everything made from materials which can be washed and disinfected. And you need to have access to the water, to collect the water, and so on. You need to have a cold store. This is important because you need to put these carcasses after and to keep them in cool place. And in this next slide, you will see the simplified flow with not so many equipments and with, of course, more labor work, but there is not a large amount of animals which you are cutting off. And you see on the top is bovine, and the pigs are, this flow is example for pigs. And I told you about this official control, what I am doing there. And from the point of view of the farm and food operator now, they need to have and to run couple of tests. They need to keep some tests regarding the cleaning, the hygiene, the part of the encephalopathy bovine. We collect sample of brains for each one and making tests. So there are some parts which should be done during this process of slaughtering. You can go now on the next one. I put some pictures from this facility. This is what I was, this is the example. The big room on the left side on your screen is the slaughtering facility. Told you, easy to wash, and have this crane on the ceiling for easier maneuvers, and they have 1-2 persons which are working on that day when they slaughtering. This part is the cutting, let's say, the cutting sector of the when after the animal is slaughtered, and also the store, the cold store on the side. And now we go to the processing part of the facility where they are processing the meat. On the picture on the right side, you see this is the smoker rooms they are using. And then on the next slide, if you go, you'll see this is the part where they're processing the meat, making sausages, some very good products. So I hope.
Okay.
Good example. Questions?
Okay. Thank you for your presentation and this overview how Romania has solved and implemented the flexibility rules of the EU legislation. The overall message is the EU legislation provides flexibility for small food operators. The question is whether, and if yes, how national authorities to implement them. And what we have been presented here is a good example how this could be solved in a regional surrounding for small farms. The next example will be presented. I'll stop my presentation, and this presentation will be, done by Zsombor Süket. Zsombor Süket is the general manager of a regional association which joined together to start various regional projects, of which one important is this cooperative model for a slaughtering facility. We are looking forward to what he will present to us. So, Zsombor, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, and also for Judith to invite me to share this. Actually, my presentation is about two projects combined. I was involved in both of them, and I start now my screen sharing. Just a minute. I hope it's working. Is working?
Yes, now it's in full mode. Yes, presentation.
In full mode, perfect. Okay.
Yes.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. Today, I would like to share a story of a community-led initiative from Harghita County, Romania, from our region, Upper Süket region. We call it Felcsík in Hungarian. This is not only the story of building a slaughterhouse and a meat processing facility. It's also a story of how rural community tried to create a complete local value chain and a new cooperative model adapted to the challenges of the 21st century. What we saw in the past. I was born in 1985, and at that time we had the communism. And during this period, rural communities across our region developed strong informal networks of cooperation that helped people overcome shortages and restrictions imposed by the centralized system. In our region, Harghita County, particularly in the Felcsík area, and in the village of Ineu, where the slaughterhouse is, community solidarity played a crucial role in ensuring that families had access to local meat even during difficult times. At that time, cattle and agriculture production were heavily controlled by the state. Livestock ownership and meat production were subject to strict regulations, and much of the agricultural output was expected to be delivered to collective farms and state-controlled distribution systems. As a result, obtaining quality beef was often difficult to get through official channels. What made local communities resilient was the strong level of trust among their members. Neighbors knew each other, families helped one another, and people relied on long-standing social relationships. When someone was in need, community members often found ways to support each other. Access to meat and other essential food products frequently depended not only on money, but also on personal trust. I was a child at that time, so eating meat was special. We couldn't get the meat any day, so we needed that strong relationship with our neighbors. In our region, this informal community network became an important survival mechanism. People shared information, exchanged labor, helped with animal husbandry, and supported one another whenever shortages occurred.
Zsombor,
the image
for interrupting, we should come to the presence because
okay. Just the image illustrates the spirit of the solidarity. That was the point. Okay. The strategic vision, we were asked by a community to help with a project. So we had a vision that was a simple observation. Many livestock farmers in our region were producing high quality animals, but most of the value generated by their work was captured outside the region. Animals were sold elsewhere, processed elsewhere, and often returned to local consumers as branded products with a little connection to the region. We wanted to change that. The strategic objective was to support local livestock farmers by creating local processing capacity and by building a stronger connection between producers, processors, retailers, and consumers. The initiative started in 2017. The Common Land Association of INEO recognized that local farmers needed more than agricultural subsidies. They need market opportunities. Together with some experts and with our micro-regional association, we started exploring possible solutions. The implementation phase took place between 2000 and 2023. Following the approval of the investment project and the successful funding application, construction began. In August 2023, the facility received the EU Overall Health Mark and officially started operation. From concept to reality, one of the most important lessons from the beginning what was the decision must be evidence-based. We did not start by building infrastructure. We started by asking questions. Comprehensive feasibility study examined of 4 different development scenarios before any investment decision was made. The local community formally approved the project to the General Assembly of the Common Land Association. At that time, at the same time, we understood that infrastructure alone would not solve the problem. Therefore, 2 parallel initiatives were launched. First, the construction of the slaughterhouse, and second, the creation of a farmer-owned cooperative that could organize production, marketing, and market access. And creating the why a cooperative. The cooperative was never considered an objective in itself. Instead, it was viewed as a tool. Its purpose was to strengthen food security, improve livelihoods, and create stronger links between different actors in the food chain. For us, rural development is not only about building and machinery. It's more about the people. Because beyond economy objectives, we also wanted to invest in people, communities, and the knowledge transfer. Before creating the cooperative, we actually wrote a project to the Leader Association, and we got a fund of 10,000 euros. So we started with that the creation of the cooperative, and we carried out one of the largest farmer surveys in the region. More than 400 farmers participated. The survey was conducted in close cooperation with local agriculture advisors who already had strong relationship with the farmers. The result was a detailed 50-page report that helped us better understand the challenges, opportunities, and expectations of the producers. The report became one of the foundations of both the investment project and the cooperative model. Then the other project, the slaughterhouse and the meat processing facility, it was designed as a greenfield investment. Although relatively small, the facility was intentionally designed to fit the realities of the region. Its capacity is approximately 5 livestock units per day. Animals are sourced within a radius of about 50 kilometers, helping to maintain a short and traceable supply chain. This local approach reduces transportation distances, increases transparency, and keeps economic benefits closer to the communities where the animals are raised. Product portfolio. When discussing the product portfolio, our main objective was not simply to produce meat products, It was to create value and I would say products without ease. So only with salt, pepper, and that's all. Local processing allows farmers to capture a larger share of the final value generated by the livestock. Local consumers gain access to high quality products. And the facility created 22 jobs. They support local incomes more than in the partnership. There are more than 100 farmers, but not all of them are inputting the pigs and the cows to the facility. Many of them already canceled their farms, so that's a bad thing, but that's what it is. Profit was not the most important thing, but not only measure of success. The broader goal was to create lasting economic and social value for the region. I would say a new way of thinking. That means support local producers by choosing and consuming our own local produced food whenever possible. This is a really new thing in our region that was not done before. So it was a really big challenge for us to do this project. Building a healthy and resilient community is one of our goals of our association. So this project was I would say a big milestone in our region. We think in a modern cooperative model, farmers are should be the driving force. It's not common in our region. The cooperative should serve as a platform that provides knowledge, information, coordination, and market access. We try to introduce this to our farmers. It's not easy. It's really hard to do that. So in how we developed our project, we created also partnerships because we know that no single actor can build a local food system alone. We focused on strengthening connections between the producers, the processors, and also retailers and restaurants. We connected 2 restaurants from this region to this SFSC, and we try to get through all the hard times. So now Romania is challenging really difficult.
Zsombor, excuse me for intervening. We have to shortcut your presentation because we are running out of time. So the last part, maybe you can explain in a few
just
the brand.
Okay, just about bringing the brand to the markets. So the name of Terci that you can see here. Origins came from the name of the Terci Common Land Association, the community-owned organization behind all the investment. The name itself can be traced back to the local place, name that has long been part of the area's cultural landscape. Interestingly, many people also associate Terci with the affectionate Hungarian nickname for Theresa, that gives a brand a friendly and memorable character. We started the branding with a small local shop, 2 mobile retail units. There was a big brand launch event. I wanted to show you that, but maybe later you can put it in the message.
Maybe you just showcase the examples where and how the brand is applied, in the shop and the vans? Because we're running out of time. We have 2 presentations remaining.
So the cooperative established the presence on local markets also. We have a point in a market hall in the nearest city in Merkurachuk. 2 MUBA retailers are going all the Harghita counties. So every day they have their plan to go with the meat. We are on the social media in Instagram and Facebook also, and we try to represent the facility also in international network opportunities like the National Agriculture and Food Industry Exhibition and Fair in Hungary, in Budapest. That's organized in every year.
Can you showcase the examples where the brand is applied?
Where the brand
The slide
is applied?
is yeah, here. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The mobile, and you can follow the brand on Facebook.
Yeah, I think, thank you. We have to finish this presentation. Thank you for this explanation of the cooperative model where many farmers run together a farm and, a slaughterhouse. And based on that, all the other activities which you as a advisor and general manager started and initiated. This presentation will be followed by a specific case where, especially in the extensive animal husbandry for cattle, for many years there were wishes and demands to have an animal-friendly way of killing an animal in the field, and in 2021 the EU Commission accepted a solution which I think pragmatically combines both the principles of food safety, hygiene, etc., and also this demand of both from farmers and consumers. And Theresa Kienzer will show us this model, which is used in Austria, as far as I know, also in Germany and France. These were the 3 countries pushing for a solution on the European level. Please, Theresa, the floor is yours. Now it's not in the presentation mode. Yeah.
Good,
perfect.
working. Okay. Welcome as well to my presentation. My name is Theresa and I live and work on my family's farm where we practice the partial mobile slaughter. And in the next few minutes, I'd like to give you an insight into our way of slaughter and also talk about the legal requirements in Austria. Good. Okay.
It doesn't move.
For sure. Do you still see the first slide?
Only the first slide, yes.
I don't know what's going on.
Okay. I have
No.
Now it works?
Okay.
Now it works, yes.
Yeah. So I'm from Styria, from the region of the mountain group Cooperative. And our region is dominated by permanent grassland and forests, as you can see in the pictures. And since that's the only income possibilities for the farms, the production or the beef production and suckler cows they play a big role in our region. Most of the farms are organic and they're also direct marketing their beef. So that's why slaughter and animal welfare and animal friendly slaughter that are big topics for us. That is also a reason why in 2017 we formed the collective, the Initiative for Stress-Free On-Farm Slaughter on the Cooperative. And it was founded by 12 organic family farms who are, again, direct selling their beef at a small scale level with the slaughter of 2 to 20 animals per farm per year. And And also a thing I forgot to mention before is that small slaughterhouses on farms are quite common in our region. And 2 of the member farms also own a slaughterhouse. My family, for example, is one of them. Yeah, so why did we form the initiative? The aim was to find an alternative way of slaughter for our cattle, because we wanted to reduce the stress and the risk of injuries for animals, but also for the workers. Because everybody knows suckler cows are not so much used to close human contact, and we all keep them in loose housing systems. So the slaughter day was always a bit of a challenging aspect. So that's why we, together with a regional metal construction company, we built a mobile slaughter trailer. For the trailer, we got LEADER funding, and the rest of the costs were split up between the members. So each member farm owns a share of the trailer. And that is our mobile slaughter trailer. In 2019, we finally obtained approval for the trailer after a lot of bureaucracy, because at that time, the mobile slaughter was a legal gray area in Austria. And this was the first of its kind, this licensing in Austria. For us, it was very essential that the trailer is a lightweight construction, so it can be pulled by cars, because we live in a mountainous region and too heavy would be not good to operate. Yeah, I also brought some numbers. So on average, we slaughter around 90 animals per year. That's around 7 animals per month. And in the time from 2019, when we started, to 2025, we slaughtered a total of 554 cattle. As you can see, I split up the numbers between members and non-members. So the trailer or the mobile slaughter unit is used by the member farms, but also by non-member farms. These non-member farms don't own a share of the trailer, and they're not part of the collective, but they use the trailer anyway, and they pay a certain amount of fee per slaughtered animal to the collective, so that they can use the trailer anyway. Yeah. And I also brought now some pictures because I wanted to show you how a slaughtering process works. Yeah, the essential part of the entire slaughter process is the fixation. We fixate the animals in the feeding racks, and it's very important that they are used to that, so that needs a lot of training, so that the animals are not stressed or that they are very calm during the slaughter process. Yeah, so the animals get stunned with a bolt gun, and as soon as they collapse, as you can see in the right picture, a rope gets put around their back legs, and then the animal gets pulled inside the trailer. And once it's inside and hanging, the bleeding takes place. An important part here is that the blood needs to be collected and then transported back to the slaughterhouse, and then it gets discarded there. And as soon as the bleeding is finished, the animal gets laid inside the trailer, as you can see on the left picture. Then cover and ramp are closed, and then it's good to go for the transport. Yeah. Then it gets transported back to the slaughterhouse. That's the slaughterhouse on my family's farm here now, where the further processing takes place. Yeah, and basically that's it. Now I'd like to talk about the legal requirements in Austria. In general, people performing slaughter, either way, if it's a normal slaughter or the mobile slaughter, these people need a certain certificate of competence so that they are allowed to do that. For the partial mobile slaughter, you also need 3 more documents. First, the application for an extension of the slaughterhouse's authorization. Then you need an application for approval of the on-farm slaughter by the farmer. And then you need a written agreement between the slaughterhouse operator and the farmer again. And all these applications for approval must be submitted to the veterinarian department of the relevant federal state government. As mentioned before, in 2021, some really needed amendments to the annex of a EU regulation were made, because before that in Austria, the mobile slaughter or partial mobile slaughter were a legal gray area. And now we finally have legal requirements for it. So now you're allowed to slaughter the maximum of 3 cattle, 6 pigs, 3 equines, or 9 sheep or goats per slaughter run. It's important or required that the animal is secured for stunning. These securing devices could either be available on site, like the feeding racks that we use, or they could also be provided by the slaughterhouse operator. The bleeding, there have been a few changes because the bleeding can take place inside the mobile slaughter unit or outdoors with a special permit. When we got the approval for our slaughter trailer, we had the requirement that the bleeding has to take inside the mobile unit. Either way, either how you do it, the blood must be collected. Also new is that the transport is now allowed to be up to 2 hours between the stunning of the first animal and then the arrival at the slaughterhouse. A thing that's also required is that the veterinarian must be present during the entire slaughter process, and he or she must be notified at least 3 business days in advance. That is a point that leads to a lot of discussion in practice because it's not very practical, and we all hope that there will be some changes considering that point. Yeah. There are also some requirements for the mobile slaughter unit. The approval only gets granted as an extension of an existing slaughterhouse. So you need a slaughterhouse to be able to get approval for a mobile slaughter unit. You can't do it without it. The unit must also have a blood collection tank, and it must be liquid tight so that nothing drops out. And it also must provide a hand washing station. And the trailer has, of course, to be cleaned and disinfected after each slaughter. A good thing is that the mobile slaughter unit can be used by multiple animal husbandry or slaughter facilities. So not everyone needs to buy his or her own trailer because that would financially never be possible for small farms. Yeah. And with that, I'm already at the end of my presentation. I thank you for listening, and I'm happy to answer questions afterwards.
Thank you, Theresa, for presenting to us this very specific case, how in a given surrounding of an extensive animal husbandry, and especially for Austria, it's cattle and suckler cows, slaughtering can be done under practical and also economically viable conditions. Okay, the last presentation is coming from France. In this case, it's an example where one farm invested in a slaughtering facility and is renting this facility to neighboring farms. It's not presented by the farmer or by the advisor behind because both were not disposable for today. But it's presented by Anne-Cécile Brit. She is familiar with the case. This case was also selected as a golden case within our COREnet project. And how this is organized and how this is working, we are looking forward, Anne-Cécile. The floor is yours.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, great. So good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining this Advisinar. So I will be presenting one of COREnet golden case, which is called Ferme de Méret. So this case was nominated by Françoise Morizot-Bro, who is from the SERD, and myself. And Françoise won't be able to join us today, but I will share her email address. So if you want to get more details about this case, you will be able to. And so I will spend the next few minutes looking at how this single farm, through one shared processing workshop, opens up short food chain access to meat for an entire community of producers. So the question we will be answering will be how a shared processing workshop unlocked short food chain access to meat for a whole community of producers. So keep this question in mind during the presentation. So let's start with this. To sell meat through a short food supply chain is not that easy. So you can't just raise the animal, you also have to slaughter. So as we've just seen, cut and process it in in an approved facility. So that's a heavy regulatory and financial barrier. And the new or small-scale producer simply cannot afford to build an individual facility. The investment is high, and at the start, volumes are quite low, and yet these producers still want to control the quality and the authenticity of their own products themselves. They don't want to outsource that to someone else. So without processing capacity, many of them will have to either give up on the short chains altogether or pay a costly third-party service provider. This processing step is really the missing link. It's what determines whether a farm can join an SFSC at all. So what was Pascal Lapré's solution? So Pascal Lapré is the leader of La Ferme de Méret. It's a collective project had originally been discussed. He wanted to invest in a collective slaughter facility, but it turned out to be politically difficult to get off the ground at local level. So instead, Pascal decided to invest alone in his own approved workshop for poultry slaughtering, cutting, and processing. And then he opened its doors to other producers in the region because he always wanted a collective solution, particularly those who are just starting out. It works in 3 simple steps. First, join and comply. So new producers contact Pascal, complete hygiene training, and agree to the internal regulation. Second, they pay a fair share. It's a day rate of 200 euros, which covers water, electricity, and cleaning. So it's far less than the cost of building an individual facility. And third, process and sell. So each producer keeps full ownership of their products and their recipe, and goes on to sell through their own short food supply chain. So Pascal didn't just solve his own problem, he turned his investment into a shared resource for the whole local farming community. Before we go further into the advisory side of the story, I would like to take a moment to present the farm itself. So La Ferme de Méret is run by Pascal Lapré on the outskirts of the Auxois region in the edge of the Morvan in France. As you can read in his own words, so he said, as you can see in his own words on this slide, he and his family raise mallard ducks and sheep in the open air and have been breeders and producers for over 30 years. Their foie gras and all of their products are made on site using traditional methods. In line with their values, they've also converted their sheep farm and their crops to organic farming. And after acquiring a mill, they now process their own grains into organic flour right on the farm: wheat, chickpeas, spelt, acorn, and lentils. So this is a farm that's diversified, rooted in its territory, and deeply committed to processing as close as possible to the point of production, which is exactly why this facility story we are about to tell makes so much sense here. And also, they combine various individual and collective SFSC, direct sales on the farm, markets, sales to shops, and online sales, and sales at private trade fairs. So very different SFSCs. So let's look at the scale of this model, because this isn't a small pilot. It's a model that has grown for over 20 years. So today, around 15 producers are using the workshop once a week. La Ferme de Méret alone reaches over 10,000 consumers. And across all the producers who use the workshop, the estimated annual turnover from SFSC is about 2 million euros. And in terms of activity, that represents roughly 60,000 transactions a year. And what I found particularly telling is that half of the producers using the workshop have been established for less than 5 years. So this workshop is consistently lowering the barrier to entry for new SFSC businesses. And I leave you with the quote from Pascal Lapré himself, which I think sums up the human side of the story. It is also gratifying to know that we have been able to create jobs in rural area. So this is very important for him. And all producers who process or have processed in Pascal Lapré's workshop acknowledge that they would not have been able to start selling through SFSC without this workshop, or would have found it very difficult to do so. So this is where I'd like to hand over to Françoise, but she's not here with us. So this is the advisory support, and she followed this project since the beginning. So given the political difficulties in bringing a collective project to fruition at local level, Pascal Lapré decided to make the investment alone, and the CERD helped him bring that project to fruition, working in collaboration with the Côte d'Or Chamber of Agriculture. Concretely, CERD helped him prepare this approval application and provided training courses funded via Vivea on hygiene, different methods of training and sterilization control, plus individual advice, mobilizing various sources of funding over the years. So today the support continues. CERD helps keep the accreditation file up to date as regulation evolve. And Pascal himself now informally mentors newcomer producers. Looking ahead, the advisory needs that remained around collective health organization, responsibility, traceability, and alert management as the network of users keep changing over time. So, why is this a COREnet golden case? So we consider it a golden case because it actually checks all of our criteria. It's innovating. So the innovation here lies in the collective organization of processing, which lets producers sell through SFSC while fully meeting consumer expectation on quality and authenticity. It has a clear local market focus, and it shows active advising. CERD support is used deliberately to raise quality and performance. It supports self-government. Every producer keeps autonomy over their own recipe and product, and the flexibility of the workshop means recipes can keep improving over time. It's built on collaboration and not competition. Risk, the workshop, and knowledge are all shared, and producers help each other as well as being helped by the CERD. And finally, it's scalable and has already been replicated. A second workshop was created in Autun, a city nearby, by a producer who used Pascal Lapré's workshop for 8 years before investing in his own. So this case doesn't just tick boxes, it's an everyday practice on the farm. And what can we learn from this case in COREnet network? 4 things, I think. First, processing capacity, not market access, is often the real bottleneck for SFSC. And when it comes to meat products, that's worth remembering when we think about where advisory support should focus. Second, a single committed local leader, like Pascal Lapré, backed by a specialized advisory body like the CERD, can unlock SFSC access for an entire community of producers. It doesn't take a large institutional program to start with, just one person willing to act and one advisor willing to work alongside them. And third, light touch, fair cost governance, internal regulations, day rate fees, lets autonomy and collaboration coexist. And fourth, the model is replicable. As we saw with Autun, success is one territory can inspire a second facility elsewhere, and that's exactly the kind of pattern that COREnet Advisors Network could actively support and help spread across Europe. And to finish, I would just like to tell you that the CERD is a member of the French SFSC network, which we call RMT Alimentation Locale, that I co-animate. And it has been in this group for the 10 past years, carrying out a wide range of initiatives to promote regulations that are actually tailored to SFSC structures. So I would like to tell you about a few quick examples, and I will give you the link. So if you want to check them out, you are more than welcome. So the Victor project was coordinated by the French Livestock Institute, which is called IDEL, and developed practical tools and training resources to help beef and pork farmers in SFSC to improve quality, regulatory compliance, and economic performance. CERD has also contributed to a publication on processing plant-based products in SFSC alongside the RMT Alimentation Locale, and to a model sanitary approval dossier for small poultry and rabbit slaughterhouses and cutting plants, which give operators a practical, ready-to-use framework for preparing their own approval application. And they also participate in the best practices guide for on-farm processing of pork products. So I will, as I said, I will give you the link if you want to check them out. So thank you very much for your attention. And I hope this case has shown that sometimes the biggest barrier to SFSC isn't market demands, it's also processing. And you have our email address if you want to ask a question after this presentation. And of course, you can ask them right now also. And I will give you a link to an interview of Françoise Morizot-Bro so that you can have also more information about what she's doing inside our network. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Anne-Cécile, for this interesting presentation on the activities in your national network, focusing on this very good example how the slaughtering issue can be solved in a very pragmatic and practice-oriented way. Now it's time for Q&A. First of all, Eveline and Alette, what were the questions in the chat?
Morning.
Which should be tackled?
Morning. So Alette, are you starting?
Yes, that's okay.
Okay.
The first question, Zsombor, Süket already.
Zsombor, yeah.
Thank you. Already
Yes.
answered. Okay.
In the chat, yeah, okay.
I don't know if you want. The second question comes from Marta Fernandez, and the question is also for Zsombor. What have been the main challenge in the relationship and cooperation between the different profiles and actors, and how they overcome them? I don't know if
Zsombor.
Okay, I wrote my answer in the section.
Okay.
But
okay.
I can tell it. So one of the main challenges was to ensure the input, the good input. I mean, not only just one input, but the good quality of meat. And it took time to learn the farmers what is the best input, what they can grow. So one of them was that.
And this means the quality of the live animal. So
yes.
Okay,
yes.
Good meat from good animals.
From good animals, yeah.
Okay.
You have the best product. And the other one was that in our region there were no A category farms for pigs, because the input has to be from a farm from A category certified. So it took more than 2 years to get the certification for many farmers here for the pig farm. So those were the biggest
because the
challenges
farms
for
have
us.
to be the farm which deliver live animals to the slaughterhouse have to be certified.
Certified, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Are there any other questions in the chat? Eveline?
Yes, yes.
Or Aletta?
We have another one from Marta also, but it's for all of you. Okay. What here the main legal challenge, I'm sorry, regarding to the slaughter thing?
Okay, maybe Maximilian, as you are the expert from the veterinarian side, you could answer this question.
Yeah, I think the big challenge is the slaughterhouse condition, the killing conditions, and these animal welfare requirements, because the using of tools and equipments for this part of activity should be authorized by many authority. At least in Romania, you should have a authorization from the police department for using that gun. You have to have many, couple of trainings for how to fulfill the requirements regarding the animal welfare. I think this is the most important and also the critical activity. The others you can learn easy. It's not so emotionally involved. It's another kind of program. But I think this one is the most critical.
Okay.
The killing part.
Maybe Theresa, with your specific case, what is your experience regarding this legal requirements?
I can just speak from my practical point of view, but what we are struggling with is the mandatory attendance of the vet, because it makes the partial mobile slaughter extremely expensive, because of course the vet also wants his time paid, and yeah, the inspection fee is now about up to 70 euros, and for a normal slaughter it would be around a maximum of 25 euros. So it adds lots of costs and also planning effort, because you need to make sure that the vet is free, and there's a lot of, it complicates the situation. And we're also struggling a bit with the hygiene, because of course we work clean and do our best, but we have, as a small slaughterhouse, we have the same hygiene rules or hygiene requirements than huge slaughterhouses have. So that's also a bit of a difficulty.
Okay.
If I may say something, Christian, I think in order to tell Teresa, and that these things I am thinking about for a long time. Now with this new, let's say, new technology, many of the inspections, from my point of view, can be done from not on spot. You can do it from far. You can use cameras, you can use images, you can use many things. And I think this is, I want to emphasize this and to put in on this discussion only for you and for us, of course, to think about maybe we have to change some rules on the future regarding this, because I think it's more and more easier to get access for this. I can see what you are, for example, for slaughtering part. What you are doing there, I can see on the camera as well as I am there. If there are parts, of course, which I cannot see easier. There are parts which can be used, I don't know, AI and other kind of devices and support, which can make this thing easier. And this is something which I am telling you should be put on the front of the experts in commission, and to start to discuss about. This is one aspect. There are other also regarding food control, regard the animal food waste also. We need to change a little bit. We've been so strict. Yes, this made the European food system the highest quality in the world. but also we have to look a little bit to see if we can use this new technology in our health. Thanks.
Thank you for this contribution. I worked in my former career on the European level for this topic, and the main reason is that the principle in the Animal Hygiene Regulation 853 says that a slaughterhouse has to be stationary. That's a principle. And this combination of this mobile part of stunning, bleeding, and then transporting the carcass, the dead animal, to the stationary slaughterhouse was a kind of an exemption which was allowed after years of negotiation. But there was, what Theresa just mentioned, this additional requirement that the veterinarian has to be present and to control and check the activities. And what you mentioned, using technologies like camera and also maybe AI, could be a good solution to make it more feasible for all for all parties involved. For the moment, if as like in the case of Theresa, you are far away from the next city, just the time that the veterinarian travels to your place costs at least 1 hour, which means 70 euro, and then the time he has to watch the slaughtering process. Are there any other questions?
Yes, there is another question to Theresa. How much does a burial mobile slaughter cost?
That depends. It's around between 250 to 500 euros. It depends on how far the farms are away from our farm, so how long we have to drive to get to the farm to get the animal and come back to our farm or the slaughterhouse. And it also depends if the farms are members or non-members of the initiative, because if they are non-members, then they pay a fee to the collective or to the initiative. So between 250 and 500 euros.
Okay.
Something around that.
Per cattle.
Per slaughtered animal, yeah, per cattle.
Yeah. Okay. Are there any other questions from the public, from the participants? Okay. So we are coming to an end. To give you a short outlook for the upcoming month, I would like to show you just to give you some information. Okay. Yeah, the overall principle, what we are doing is that our activities should serve your benefit, because a network is not an end in itself, it must serve you. This means we will continue the advisor's journey in 2027. We work on the design of the network, which we have to come up within our project requirements. We are looking for a hosting solution after end of the project, so that after the end of the project, the network is still alive and working. What we are doing is a continuous monitoring of our activities, asking for your feedback and proposals. We are testing new formats. We are looking for new members. So if you are not a member, you're not registered for the moment, please use this chat form to register. We are open for new ideas and proposals as you are the network. And as already mentioned, actually we run a survey under this link. Having said this, I'm stopping here, and maybe Eveline, you can put into the chat, on the one hand, the link for the questionnaire on this specific Advisinar. What's your impression, your feedback? We are happy to hear from you. We have also the option, if you are equipped with a mobile, Ludovica, that you present the QR code. So if it's easier for you to do it, to get access to the questionnaire via a QR code and do it on the mobile, please use this option. The QR code will come immediately. It's just 2 minutes to get an impression how you estimate our yes. And to give you as an announcement an invitation for the next Advisinar, excuse me, as indicated, it is on the 20th of July, and it's dedicated a dedicated workshop dealing with what you as advisors need, what you would propose for the future. So please save the date, and also please fill in this specific survey, which is in the chat, that we know more as preparation for the Advisinar on the 20th of July. Thank you for coming. Thank you to the presenters for your very useful and interesting insights into your work of slaughtering in practice. Thank you, Eveline and Alette and Ludovica, for the preparation and for the assistance. Now I'll close the Advisinar. Have a good day, and see you hopefully on the 20th of July. Goodbye.